Alright, so I can't believe this. Hanada returns to the story after like 25 years of serialization, hasn't made an appearance since Grappler Baki, and even back then wasn't really even a relevant character. He returns to the new manga Baki Rahen. We see the likes of Hanayama pull up and them two proceeding to fight, which results in Hanada doing the following. Fully countering Hanayama's Giga Punch and slamming him headfirst into the ground and actually knocking him out in this exchange, which means the argument is there that Hanada just defeated Hanayama currently in the story. I don't think there's anyone out there in the world who expected this to happen in the story. Regardless, after Hanayama actually woke up and got up, he found out that Hanada actually ran away. And of course, his reaction in this panel here, the same as all of us probably reading this chapter. I would like to imagine that Hanayama is eventually going to pull up on Hanada at some point in the future of the story and get his sweet revenge, and I'm thinking it's not going to be pretty. At least this is what I'm hoping for in the future of the story. Regardless, Hanayama has been done beyond dirty in this exchange. Comes out of nowhere fighting this old, not even relevant character, and gets knocked out and clapped like that. Kinda weird, and it even gets worse considering what's most likely gonna happen regarding other stuff in today's chapter. But first we have the return of Jack Hanma, who's just chilling, eating the spine of a cow, once again reinstating that his bite strength is above the likes of a lion, the same tier as a hyena who can also replicate this feat, and that he's pretty much the only human who can do this. Does this mean his bite strength is stronger than the likes of Pickle, or does Tokigawa not consider Pickle a human? Something interesting to think about. But the basis of their conversation is regarding Jack Hanma's next fight, of course against the Cord Cutter, with Tokigawa asking for Jack's thoughts on him and how their fight's going to play out, and Jack doesn't really seem interested whatsoever, leading Tokigawa to say, "Do you even remember him?" With it seeming like Jack does, but it doesn't really bother him whatsoever, claiming that he met him during the whole scene when everyone pulled up to see Pickle for the first time. Of course, it wasn't really a memorable interaction between the two, they were all there to see Pickle, but Jack, of course, mentioning Pickle is pretty interesting. Of course, we all want to see that fight in the future of the story, already hinted at by the likes of Motobe, and of course with the return of Pickle. I've talked about that in a few videos of recent. But the point here is that Jack doesn't seem too worried about fighting the Cord Cutter, and now we have some other stuff regarding him, of course preparation for his fight against Jack, and more stuff about Hanada. He returns to his previous master, or maybe current master, Motobe. It's mentioned that it's been a while, so probably since the events of Hanada getting low diff by the likes of Mount Toba, they haven't really seen one another. Motobe had a lot of praise for Hanada back in early Grappler Baki, but after that defeat he hasn't really been relevant or done anything, and it looks like this is the first time they've really seen one another. But it seems like Motobe, based on these conversations here and some lines, is noticing that Hanada is much stronger now compared to his previous self, talking about how he's got an air about him that can't be developed through practice alone, implying that he's became more like a warrior. But all this is cool, building up Hanada once again, at least some build up for him considering he just kinda defeated Hanayama, which is a huge deal. But then we have the arrival of the Cord Cutter to Motobe and Hanada, and of course he wants to fight Hanada right now, and that's what we're going to see next. So the question is, who's going to win this and what's going to happen in the future of the story? We know the Cord Cutter is already having his fight set up against Jack. Hanada just defeated the likes of Hanayama, so I guess his worthiness to fight someone like Jack is probably going up as well. The Cord Cutter made Doppo actually bleed in their exchange, showing how much he's improved. So two characters from the early days of Grappler Baki who haven't really had that much shine in a long time are now facing one another, potentially for the chance to face the big boss of this arc, Jack Hanma, which is pretty cool. If I had to make a prediction about who I think is going to win this, I'm still going the Cord Cutter. As a whole, he's a far more interesting character. which is probably due to us seeing a lot more of him throughout the story, and the fact that he has a lot more fights compared to the likes of Hanada, of course. But even when it comes to fighting style, I definitely prefer the Cord Cutters, far more unique. However, based off recent showings, which of the two are more impressive? I would honestly like to say the Cord Cutter, even though I would rank Hanayama as stronger than Doppo on like a tier list currently, regardless of this. The instances of the fights are a little different. Hanada did kinda get blitzed by Hanayama's first kick, and it seemed like he got a little bit lucky in that slam on Hanayama, and of course he literally ran away after doing that. He didn't hang around to continue the fight. If he was fully confident in his power like most Baki characters are when they actually challenge someone, they kinda stay around and continue a fight, but it seemed like Hanada got lucky, was able to knock out Hayami and wanted to get away while he can. Then when looking at the Cord Cutters fight against Doppo, that was Doppo pretty much trying to show him a lesson and got absolutely stung by his attack, and the Cord Cutter was absolutely confident throughout that entire fight and probably could have kept going if he wanted to. So with all that said, I'm betting on the Cord Cutter winning this exchange. It's probably going to be cut short considering the likes of Motobe is here, but it would be cool if we have the likes of Hanayama pulling up, cutting the fight short and is one-shotting Hanada or something like that, and then we eventually cut to the Cord Cutter getting his chance against Jack, who isn't really too excited about fighting him and isn't probably taking him that serious, but regardless of who Jack is fighting currently, he's definitely going to be on the top of his game, isn't going to mess around, and is going to show them the might of his bites. As always, if you want to talk more about Baki with fellow community members, consider joining the Discord. Also, if you need chapter links, for example the Raws, leaks, or when the translations are dropped, they're posted in the Discord server, with roles being added to pretty much get notifications when chapters do come out, so you can be caught up to date as soon as something comes out regarding Baki. Of course, much more things available in the Discord, free to join, link in the description. But apart from everything else I talked about in today's video, we're now 5 chapters into Baki Rahen and it is looking very good. Even though my second favourite character in the entire series, Hanayama, just got done dirty, I'm still really enjoying every chapter. It is cool to see older characters getting huge buffs and now being relevant to the current story. All of that is completely fine to me on the long run. I just want, my personal favourite characters, Hanayama and Jack, to shine more and more. But this is Jack's arc. He's going to have so many fights and he's already being set up for so many. Even the lower tier characters getting a chance to fight them are turning out to be pretty cool matchups. So cool stuff. Also just other characters fighting one another to get pretty much the right to fight Jack is also cool to see. If you haven't already, subscribe, check out the other stuff in the description. Shout out to these Patreon mad lads. But that's it guys, peace.